Hey pre-algebra kids, so today is going to be lesson 22 and we're basically going to be doing the same thing that we did in 21, but we're going to investigate different methods. So solving equations that require simplification and have different methods about going about it. So you're going to see two methods for each example that I'm about to go through, and I have to use my book because I want to make sure I'm following the right method each time. Remember, I have my own ideas of how you should solve the problem. I will let you know at the end if I would prefer to use method 1 or method 2. It's your choice as to which method you choose. I'm going to show you both today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve this equation. Negative 4x plus 14 plus 6x is equal to 2. 4x. So we're solving for x. The very first method that we're going to do is we're going to combine our like terms. Our like terms in this case, remember my square, triangle, circle method is the x's. So I have negative 4x plus a 6x. If I have negative $4 in the bank account and I add $6 to it, I'm left with 2x. I'm going to drop that 14 down for right now and set it equal to 2 for right now. The reason I did that is now this looks like, oh, it's not 2, it's 20. There we go. Good thing I checked my book. This looks like a problem that we can solve using our additive property. Now we're going to add negative 14 to both sides, or subtract 14. Remember, same thing. Adding a negative is just like subtracting a positive. If I do this, these two cancel. I'm left with 2x here, and 20 minus 14, 20 is a much nicer number, is 6. So now we have 2x is equal to 6. Then we're going to multiply by 1/2. Remember, this is just like dividing by 2. So if we multiply by 1/2 over here, it cancels. X is equal to 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Now, before we move on, we need to double check that x is equal to 3 works. So over here, we're going to check our solution. I'm going to put 3 in for every x I see. Negative 4 times 3 plus 14 plus 6 times 3 equal to, not 2, 20. So 4 times 3, negative 4 times 3. We're going to get a negative 12 plus 14 plus 6 times 3, which is 18. Does that equal 20? Well, let's see. First of all, negative 12 plus 14 gets us a positive 2. Still have 18. 2 plus 18, sure enough, is 20. 20 equals 20, therefore x equals 3 is correct. We've done that method. So this is combining like terms. That's the first method. I like that method. You know me, I'm a circle boxer. But let's look at this next method too, just so you have multiple ways of solving. The next method, what it does first is it adds negative 14 to both sides. So it subtracts 14 first. So now we get the 14 out of the way. It's canceled. And we have negative 4x plus 6x is equal to 6. Then we can combine like terms. So basically they're just reversing the order a little bit. It's the same process, just order's different. Combining these like terms, we get negative 4 and we have 6. So negative 4 plus 6 we know to be 2x, which is equal to 6. Now all we have to do is use our multiplicative property, which tells us to multiply by 1/2, which is the same as dividing by 2. So I divide by 2 on both sides, and x is equal to 3. I'm not going to check the solution because we already did it in the first one, and we know x equals 3 is correct. So two different methods, same solution. And it doesn't really matter necessarily what you do as long as you're doing the right thing and you're using your order of operations. So in this case, we started by using our additive first and then combining like terms. You could combine like terms and do our additive after. That one doesn't really matter as much. The multiplicative has to wait until the very end when you have 1x equal to one number. You don't want to do that one too soon because you still have additive. Addition should always go before multiplication. All right, so let's do another one. again, two different methods. I'll show you both just because it's good to have multiple methods. Everybody's a little different. This one, 5 times the quantity 15 plus D equals 90. Very first thing you could do for method 1 is use the distributive property. Distribute that 5 in. So 5 times 15, you get 75, plus 5 times D, which is 5D, and that's set equal to 90. Now that you have a more simplified problem, you can do the add negative 75 or subtract 75 from both sides. If I do that, I'm left with 5D, because those cancel out. And that is equal to 90 minus 75, which is 15. Convenient, right? Now we add, or not add, multiply by 1/5, which would also be dividing by 5 to both sides. D is equal to 3. But don't take my word for it until I plug it back in. So 5 times the quantity 15 plus 3 equals 90. Well, 15 plus 3 is 18. What's 5 times 18? Sure enough, it's 90. Therefore, 90 equals 90, and D equals 3 is correct. See how that works? That's one method of using the distributive property. Now, some of you may not have thought to use the distributive property, and that's fine. Let's look at a second way of doing this, okay? The second way of doing this is getting rid of the 5 right away without distributing it. So the way you would do that is you either multiply by 1/5 or divide by 5. When you do this, it cancels out. But whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other side. Therefore, you have 15 plus D is equal to 90 divided by 5, which is 18. Okay, now we can subtract 15 from both sides, and we're left with D is equal to 3. Same answer as before, folks, same answer. And we know if we check that in, if we put 3 in there, 90 would equal 90, and D equals 3 is the correct answer. So here we didn't even use the distributive property. We only used our properties of equations of equality, and we still got the same answer. Either one is correct. All right, let's see what else I got for you. I think I have a couple more examples. Yes. So here are some more examples. If you would like to follow along with these examples, I think I took them from the work time. Yes, I did. This is work time on page 90. Solve the equation using properties of equality and number properties, and then check your solution. So this is A through D is what we're going to do this morning. This will give you several examples so that you will be able to do the homework correctly. All of what we've been doing is homework. And we're basically going to say if it's true or false in our check. All right, so we have 3 times x minus 4 equals 12. I find method 2 that we just did simpler, where I get rid of the 3 right away by dividing by 3 on both sides. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. I'm going to be left with x minus 4 equals 4. I'm going to add 4 to both sides because I'm subtracting 4 here. Those cancel. I'm left with x is equal to 8. Double check my answer. Plug in 8 right here. 3 times the quantity, 8 minus 4, equals 12. Well, I know 8 minus 4 is 4, and I know 3 times 4, is 12. Therefore, it checks out. My answer is 8. I can write true. This is exactly how you're going to do your homework, folks. Show your work. Don't get sloppy or lazy. You might have combined something that you're not supposed to combine. You might be able to check your answers and fix your problems before I even get to see it. So make sure you show that work and show the check. All right, let's do this one. First thing I'm going to do, because I like the method of combining like terms first, I'm going to combine my m's. I have a 2m and I have a negative 1m. 2 minus 1 is 1m. Keep that 6 down there. Got to bring it down there. It's not just 6, it's negative 6, as you can see from the negative sign there. That's kind of small. And this is equal to 12. Now I'm going to add 6 to both sides to cancel those out and get m alone. M is equal to 18. Well, I don't know. I got to check. So I'm going to put this in for both the m's and double check. 2 times 18 minus 6 minus 18. Let's see if that equals 12. I know 2 times 18 is a big number. 2 times 18 is 36. There we go. Thank you, book, for helping me with math this morning. It is morning for me, so I'm still waking up. We're subtracting 6 and subtracting 18 from that to get it to equal something. We don't know what it is yet. Let's solve. 36 minus 6 is 30. Subtract 18 from that. 30 minus 18, I believe, is 12. Look at that. 12 equals 12. It checks out. M equals 18 is our true answer. The reason why I'm putting true is it's telling us to double check and make sure that it's true and not false. Because if you double check and you find out it's false, guess what you did? Some kind of math wrong somewhere. So the checking is so important. I can't tell you more. It really helps with things. 2 more. Even more examples. All right. Now, let's do this one with the distributive property first. And you'll see why here in a second. I'm going to distribute that 2 in first. I'm going to leave 7x where it's at. Negative 2x. I believe it becomes positive 5. Let's do it and then see if I have wrong math. I'll know. So I'm going to make it a positive, not 5, but 5 times 2, which is 10. And that's going to equal 20. Now look what I can do here. Combine like terms. 7 minus 2 is a convenient 5x plus 10, which equals 20. Subtract 10. I did my math correct. Oh, that's supposed to be a subtract. 10 from both sides. Okay, that is canceled. This is 5x equals to 10. Divide by 5 on both sides. X is equal to 2. Check it. Plug 2 in. There's 2 places to plug 2 into. Okay? So I'm going to run out of room here. Maybe it'll let me. Hey, look at that. Yay, board. All right, so 7 times 2, and I'll get out of the way here in a second, times minus 2 times 2 minus 5 equals 20. Parentheses first, this becomes negative 3 times 2, and that I'll go ahead and do is 14. Okay, this is all equal to something, we're figuring it out. 2 times negative 3 is 14 minus a negative 6. We know that if we're subtracting a negative, it's just like adding a positive. 14 plus 6 is certainly 20. 20 equals 20. X equal to 2, and it's true. So that's how you do that one. Lots of steps, lots of work. Your notebooks and hands should be flying. All right, next. Let's do the method 2 here and not distribute. Let's just get rid of, well, actually, no, we need to distribute because, do you see how we have 2 x's? Anytime your brain sees that there's 2 x's here, okay, you're going to think combine like terms. Well, you can't just combine them without distributing. You got to distribute those numbers in. Okay, so here we'll get 2x minus 14 minus 4x plus 4 times 20 is 80. This is supposed to equal 10. Combine those like terms, you get 2x and negative 4, so we're going to be left with a negative 2x. We combine these terms as well. Negative 14 plus 80 gives us a, oh, that's a tricky one. Negative 14 plus 80 would be, well, 80 minus 14 is 66. So we're going to have a positive 66 here. Okay, that's still set equal to 10. Now we're going to subtract 66 from both sides. Negative 2x equals, that will be a negative 56. Then we're going to divide by negative 2. Finally, we get rid of those negatives. Those cancel. X is equal to a positive 18. Hey, I am feeling good about that, but we should double check by plugging it in. So, going to put the x in there and that x in there. So, we got 2 times 18 minus 7 minus 4 times 18 minus 20. Do your parentheses first, order of operations. So, 18 minus 7 is 11. And 18 minus 20 is actually a negative 2. Okay, then we can rewrite everything. Now we're going to do the multiplication. 22 minus a negative 8. But again, subtracting a negative is like adding a positive. So, that's supposed to equal 10. Right? Or is it supposed to equal 12? I'm not looking at the wrong one. Where am I at? Sorry guys, bear with me while I try to figure out where I'm at. Oh, I'm right here. Ooh, we're off by a little bit. Well, and we know that because we did the check. So instead of being 256 divided by 2, I bet that's where we're off. Yeah, because it goes in, 2 goes into 5 twice, right? Because it gets 4. So instead of having 1 here, we'll get rid of that. We're supposed to have 2. It's supposed to be 28. If we do 28, how does that change? So if we make these into 28s here, look how I'm not like erasing a bunch, right? I'm just fixing it. 28 minus 7 is 21, not 11. And 28 minus 20, oh, that's so much nicer. No negatives there, right? Oops, too far. All right. 28 minus 20 is just 8. So now we don't even have to worry about this. 2 times 21 is going to be 42. Subtracting 4 times 8, which is 32. Hallelujah. 10 equals 10. Sorry for that little singing break there, but I messed up. I'm not perfect. That's why pencils have erasers. That's why checking is important. I'm glad that that happened because now we can fix our answers. I just showed you how you can fix your answers at home. Don't ever, and if you have questions like that, you're stuck and it's like, it's not true, but I don't know where I went wrong, snap me a picture. Send it to my cell phone number. I gave it to you in the classroom, and I'll tell you exactly where you went wrong, and you can fix it for yourself. Take advantage of this learning that you can do right now. This is actually the best scenario because all we're doing right now is checking to see if we actually did it right. And this is all stuff you're going to need to know for next year. So let me see if I have any more examples for you. No, it's the final lesson. So I'm going to make a new video for that, and we're then going to be done with this textbook. See you in the Zoom.